Hello, and welcome to Personal and Community Health. I am so excited to be here to help facilitate your learning experience this semester. We have a fun, exciting, and stimulating journey ahead of us. Health is a fascinating topic, and right off the bat, I want you to start thinking about how this class is relevant to your everyday lives. In this class, you won't be memorizing a lot of titles and dates. Rather, you'll be making critical connections between the information covered and your own lives. I really believe that depth of understanding is achieved through asking meaningful questions, digging deep to find the answers, and then asking more questions. It's an endless cycle. So let me start off by sharing a little bit about my life and how I became interested in health. I grew up in a large family with 7 brothers and 2 sisters, all to the same mother and father, if you can believe it. I spent the first 6 years of my life in Costa Rica in a very rural and isolated community that was only accessible by dugout canoe. It took us 6 hours one way to make a trip from our house to the nearest town over in order to buy supplies and whatnot. Despite that hardship, we lived well. We grew our own food, we enjoyed the outdoors, and we lived healthy, happy lives. So it was at the age of 6 that I immigrated with my family to the United States after my father passed away. I spent the remainder of my adolescent years in the United States, in Arizona actually. We didn't have a lot of money, but my mom, a high school dropout, she worked hard, went to a local community college at night, and became a nurse. My mother wanted the best for each of us, like most parents. And she wanted us to do better than she did, and so she encouraged us all to go to college. I knew she couldn't afford to send all of us, including me, so after graduating from high school, I did what I could. I joined the U.S. Army, where I was trained as an Arabic linguist and was sent to Egypt. My service in the Army was wonderful. In fact, it's where I met my husband. After having our first child, we decided it was time to focus on getting our degrees, which we weren't doing in the Army. So instead of re-enlisting, we moved to California and enrolled at San Bernardino Valley Community College. From there, we transferred to Cal State San Bernardino, where I completed my bachelor's in kinesiology. And then I went on to Cal Baptist for my master's, also in kinesiology, and back to Cal State San Bernardino for my doctorate, which I completed this past December. So as you can see, I have spent my life in 3 different countries. My journey into health really began with a question. Why is it that some nations have citizens that live long lives while others do not? This question puzzled me for quite some time, as each country I lived in had very different prospects for health and life expectancy, right? How long do you live? Costa Rica is actually in the middle of the pack in the world as far as life expectancy goes, at 79 average years of life. And if you look at just the region of the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, it is known for its extreme longevity of its citizens, where it's not uncommon for citizens to live over 100, and in good health, by the way. Surprisingly, United States falls under Costa Rica, although not far behind at 78 years. Egypt, however, falls very short on health outcomes at 73 years. So you may be thinking, kind of how I did in the beginning, what is the big difference between these numbers, especially between Costa Rica and the United States? 1 year doesn't seem like a big difference, but even 1 year makes a world of difference when factoring in the sheer numbers of people, right, real people, that fall under each percentage point. It would take, if we eliminated all disease today, it would take about a decade for us in the United States to catch up to Costa Rica with regards to life expectancy. That means it would take about 50 years for Egypt to catch up to the United States. That's significant. This is the kind of stuff that drives me. What can I do to help these outcomes? Right? What is it that we can all do to help the health of everyone? I want you to think about that. This class will foster a new awakening inside of you, and you will begin to see health differently. This can be exciting It can be a life-changing experience. You will look at your neighborhoods, for instance, with critical eyes. You will question the soundness of public policies. You will wonder what it will take to foster a healthy environment. It's not as simple as having enough willpower to make better choices. I hear that all the time. Rather, health is a complex condition with a multitude of variables influencing individual level of attainment. That's enough for now. I hope you enjoy getting your feet wet this week as you dig into our first unit of content.